Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to our inaugural episode of the Upskill Forum. Tonight, uh, you have us together, and we'll be talking on reflecting and resetting. So, I'm Vince. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Agile Consulting Group.
My name is Thaddeus, also known as TJ, president of the Agile Consulting Group.
Awesome. So we're so excited to be here this evening. So for those of you that are just coming into the room, I want you to come on in. I want you to share this video, start a watch party. We are so excited to be here this evening. If you are joining in with us, talk back to us, say hello, tell us where you're from. We want to get acquainted with you all. So in the comment section, just drop where you're from so that we'll know exactly where you're from, who you are. We want to connect and we want to be able to engage with you. Let us jump into our topic at hand this evening. We're going to be talking about reflecting and resetting.
Say it again, Ben.
Reflecting and resetting. Two factors that are extremely important. I read a great quote, Thaddeus, and it was telling us those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it by George Santana. And I thought that was a phenomenal quote. I don't know if you've ever heard that before, Thaddeus. Have you ever heard that quote before?
I've definitely heard that before. It's a very good quote.
Okay. So when you hear that, what does that mean to you?
I definitely think of if you don't think about what you've been through, think about the areas of your life that you've had to go through different situations. It's going to be hard for you to learn from those and be hard for you to also move forward. Absolutely.
No, I agree. I definitely agree. Those that fail to learn the history, the things that happened, the things that transpired before you, if you fail to learn those things, then you surely are doomed to repeat it. You're going to have to learn those lessons over again. I don't know about you, but I don't like having to retake a class.
I agree. I mean, I honestly feel like not only retaking a class, but I feel like life is the greatest teacher.
Life definitely is one of the greatest teachers, and we learn by way of experience. I don't know about you, but many times our parents, they will oftentimes tell us certain things. They will forewarn us about different things that could happen or would happen if we do certain things.
But how about this one, Vince? I don't want you to go through what I went through.
Yeah.
It's like, but I'm my own person. Maybe I need to go through it so that I can learn, because truthfully, life is its greatest teacher. Or I don't want you to go down the same road that I went down. I'm trying to help you. So many times it's easy to say what you're trying to do and how you're trying to help us, but me going through it is really what's going to help me.
But could it be, Thaddeus, that those older individuals are history? Not trying to call them old, but we have to learn from that older generation. Learning from the older people could be history. If we learn from that history, then we won't have to repeat certain things that they went through already. Or is that statement only applicable to our own personal history?
I can definitely say that history is good. Wisdom is good. I definitely think it's important that you have individuals in your life that can help you along the way. But I'll also go back to what I said of experience is the greatest teacher.
Absolutely.
Life is the greatest teacher, you know?
So one of the questions that was posed is, why is reflecting so important? And number one, you're able to learn from what went well. A lot of times when we think back on history, we always think about the negative, the things that went wrong. But I know one thing that I've learned in business is, why recreate the wheel if the wheel is already invented? You know, you take that wheel and you take it and you add tweaks to it. You add your own improvements to what's already created, instead of going back and trying to reinvent something that's already there.
No, this is good. This is good. I definitely think that it's very important to learn from Went Well, because it is so true that you always look at everything that can be done differently. You always look at everything that maybe I'm my biggest critic. I'm always critiquing myself or always coming down really hard on myself. But it's so important to celebrate those successes, to look at those things that you did very well, and then continue to build upon that. So I definitely can relate and agree.
Also, knowing what went well, I think that that's a great opportunity too, Thaddeus, where we're able to duplicate those same results, because when something goes good, we want to be able to do it again.
Yep.
If we aren't able to duplicate those same results, then it was nothing more than just luck.
That's true.
If we be honest,
definitely being able to learn from it and then duplicate it, because again, with that experience only makes you greater. Experience only makes you stronger. Experience makes you wiser.
Yeah.
So as you continue to reflect and look at those obstacles that you've overcome, you can only go through it even stronger the next time, because I feel like it kind of builds that momentum.
Absolutely.
You know?
No, that's good, Thaddeus. That's good. And number 2, you learn what needed improvements. Now, if you don't learn from your mistakes, and you can't learn from your mistakes, then what on earth are you doing? What you're doing is clearly in vain. Now, I remember, and I don't know if you remember this too, Thaddeus. I think you should, but when Vince Lamar first launched, right?
Yep.
And had this big party, spent thousands of dollars on this party. So excited. Got so many people who promised to buy, promised to support, promised to purchase items from Vince Lamar. Vince Lamar Clothier is our first business where we sold men accessories, neckties, bow ties, pocket squares, lapel pins, all of that good stuff. So there was this huge party that we had, and this party cost thousands of dollars. And everybody promised to buy, didn't they?
They did.
And they showed up in the party in big numbers. I mean, we're extremely excited at this point. Everybody's flocking. Everybody's loving the branding. Everybody loves all that's going into this thing.
Right.
And I remember after the party, there was no sales. So I remember we took the youth at the church to Six Flags Great America.
Yep.
And when we took them to Six Flags Great America, I ran into somebody I know, and they said, "Oh, I would buy some socks, but just shipping cost is too expensive." Do you remember that?
Yep.
And as soon as we got back, I'm like, "Okay, how can I lower the shipping cost?" Found an alternative to lower the shipping cost. That individual still never purchased anything. But that leads us into that next point. Is the reset. But there was also another great quote which says, "Every sunset is an opportunity to reset," by Richie Norton. Such a powerful quote. But let's dive a little deeper, people. Restart versus reset. And we're going to dive into what's the difference. And we're also going to continue to even talk a little bit more about our experience with Vince Lamar as we share on that. So it tells us that restart is major functionality changes. It's practically starting from scratch. Mm-hmm. Have you ever had to start from scratch before, Thaddeus?
I've had to start from scratch a lot of times. Mm-hmm. Sometime when you have to restart from scratch, it allows you to almost that reset piece of it. Mm-hmm. Just figure it out, come back to the drawing board, look at what went well, look at what opportunities we had, and how can I continue to just build this from the beginning without having to feel the pressure of, man, everything went wrong. I think the reset piece for me, so I'm constantly pressing reset. I feel like, honestly, and this is my philosophy, I feel like every day is an opportunity to reset if need be. Even with that quote that you originally shared, every sunset is the opportunity to reset. We always have that, and whether it's weekly, daily, understanding that you can always start over again if you need to.
No, that's really good, Thaddeus. I definitely think that it's important for us to be able to reset. And let's dive a little deeper even into what it means to reset. It means changes made in the settings to improve functionality. That means that you don't have to start from scratch. You don't have to start from a blank canvas. Even if we relate this back to Vince Lamar and that early on period where we weren't generating any sales or anything like that for those first couple of months, we had to take a step back and we had to reset and we had to figure out, okay, this isn't making us any money, but we need to figure out exactly how we can generate some revenue. So what did we end up doing? We ended up booking pop-up shops to increase our exposure, to let people know that we existed. The most challenging part with business is people don't know that you exist.
That's right.
And it's your responsibility to let the world know that you have a business. Now, in the beginning, I was very timid with talking about the business.
Right.
I was shy when I felt like I had to talk about myself or things that I was doing, because I was always an individual that would try to make most of my interactions about the other person.
Right.
So that was a huge learning bridge for me, was learning how to talk and promote the business. And a lot of business owners struggle with that. You have the gift, you have the talent, but yet and still you don't want to promote yourself because you're too afraid.
Right. I mean, I think about even with looking at Vince Lamar, or if I could even relate it to working in corporate America, I've been tasked with, I had a major project at work, and this project entailed we shifted from being a title holding state, where the business actually kept the title, to the titles actually being kept at the, it went from the owners actually having the titles to the business actually keeping them until the vehicle or whatnot was paid off. And I was tasked with, for all 50 states, making sure that we were able to get all of these titles, and I had a 30-day turnaround to get it done. Well, let me tell you, everything that I did, because I didn't really plan it out appropriately and how big this project was, it failed with flying colors. Like, it was bad, Vince. But the reason it failed was because I didn't plan, and I had to take a couple steps back because I got really nervous. I was like, how am I going to tell, my manager that this project didn't go well? Well, going back to what you just talked about, pressing that reset button. So we took a couple steps back, and then we took a team approach, and we came together and looked at, these are the states we need to collect from, and this is how we're going to do it. And when you put that plan in place, and not being afraid to say, we got to go back to the drawing board. We got to start this thing over, because so many times we're afraid that if we take a couple steps back, that means that you're failing. Or if you take a couple steps back, that means that everything that you did was in vain. But there's nothing wrong with pressing reset.
Absolutely.
It's important.
And that's so true, that is, because major corporations oftentimes are at the table. Crucial conversations are happening. They're talking about what's going well. What are some things that need to improve? What's our strategy? How are we going to deliver this announcement or this product or this service to give us the results that we're hoping to get? They're at the drawing board all the time, having strategy meetings. And that's the thing too, especially with a lot of small businesses, too afraid to go back to the drawing board, to hit that reset button, to re-strategize, to figure out what it is that we need to be doing, that we should be doing, so that we're making sure that we're reaching our target goals, and that we're really connecting with that consumer.
No, I like that. Anyone that knows me knows Vince. I love Chick-fil-A, and I kind of got him on the whole Chick-fil-A bandwagon some time ago. But if you even look at it, especially for those of you that love Chick-fil-A, what did they do to rebrand? What did they do to press reset? They've been around for quite some time, but now it's like they're popping up everywhere. And everywhere you go, that service is still great. It's my pleasure. I don't mind assisting. You need more ketchup? My pleasure. That branding piece is huge, but somewhere along the line, someone in that big office said we got to press the reset button. And how do we will in to do the right thing for our consumers? How do we will in to do the right thing for our customers and really drive that home? It was pressing that reset button because they're not new to this. They've been around for quite some time.
They have been.
But when you look at what they've done, the rebranding, or you and I were just looking the other day, we were driving past a financial institution and you said, did you notice what they've done to rebrand themselves? They've pressed that reset button to look at how do we give a facelift. Even these major corporations, there's nothing wrong with pressing reset.
And that's how you remain relevant and attractive. You want to remain relevant and attractive to your consumers, because if you're not remaining relevant or attractive to your consumers, then you are putting the livelihood of your business in jeopardy.
Right.
And one thing that I like, going back to your example with Chick-fil-A, they do such an amazing job. They deliver excellent service, they also went digital.
They did.
And with them going digital, they have one of the most efficient apps like out there. And you still receive the same grade of service from them, even though you're interacting with them virtually. But that's the culture of their company, which is a amazing culture to have. But then this is the thing too, Thaddeus. What people have to understand is there's a difference between good and great. And then there is a difference between great and amazing. And then there's a difference between amazing and exceptional.
You're right.
You hit that reset button each and every time to go up a tier. And many times people aren't hitting that reset button enough so that they can go up a tier. Now, it's okay to be good. Good is just that. It's good. But good isn't amazing.
Right.
And amazing is not exceptional. And that's all it is. Like you have to go up a tier.
This is good. You're actually getting me excited because I think about not only within our personal lives, or you think about in corporate America, whatever it is that you're looking to do where you have to reset and reflect. I even think about, many of you know I serve in ministry. When you think about even serving in different capacities in your life, you have to reflect, you have to reset, you have to take a couple steps back to look at this is what we did. If you look at even major corporations, they'll have a recap of what happened for the year. You can look at everything you did well, and these are areas that we could do better with. And hopefully the next time you do it, it gets better. And you talked about going from amazing to magnificent, or just taking it to that next level. That's huge. And from a personal branding standpoint, what sets you apart? What makes you feel like that you deserve to say that I am in this 5-star category as it relates to that reset area or rebranding yourself? That's really good. Really good.
But that's the thing, you can't be afraid to go back and hit that reset button. And this is the thing, going back to the strategy table and the drawing board does not equate failure.
It does not.
That is not failure. Not showing up to that table or that strategy board or that strategy meeting, now that's setting you up for failure.
I agree.
Because we are living in an ever-changing world. We are in a now generation.
You gotta evolve.
You have to evolve. And being in a now generation means that people want results now. They want change now. They want that product or that service now. So a part of that strategy is you have to figure out how you can connect with that consumer. How can I deliver this service to my customer in a urgent
You gotta pivot
time? You have to pivot.
And I think even if we look at what we're dealing with right now, even with COVID, right? Everything is changing so fast. You have to adjust. You have to change. We have to look at, even for Vince Lamar, or even looking at Agile, how do we continue to evolve with an ever-changing world? We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, so we have to be prepared for that. We have to reset. We have to reflect and figure out what is our next step going to be. It's okay to reflect and think about those things, because if you don't, going back to what you said, Vince, you're already failing. You have to have a plan.
No, that is so true. That's really, really good. I know our additional point last point that we were making was take what you learned from reflecting and apply it to your reset strategy. You should reset every quarter. I know businesses and business owners, you know when your quarter starts and you know when that quarter ends.
Yep.
In corporate, our sales and our strategies and those different things like that, those are all centered around the quarter. And that's how we measure our success. How are you measuring your success? How are you measuring your success to know that it's time for you to even grow? Or how are you measuring your success for you to even know that it's time to even draw back a little bit? You may not be able to spend as much money in Q1 as you are in Q4.
Right.
And a lot of businesses do spend a lot more in Q4 than they do in the first few quarters of the year. Absolutely. Because they understand that unforeseen circumstances can arise and they want to make sure that they have the funding there, in liquid and easily accessible for them to be able to continue business as usual. In major corporations, they take on the same approach.
I agree. I mean, whether it's from a corporation standpoint, it's a small business standpoint. You look at each quarter, you have to have goals. Absolutely. What are your goals? What are you trying to attain from first quarter to second quarter, from second quarter to third quarter? Yeah. Make smart goals so that you can reach those goals. And if you don't reach them, then let's reset. Let's reflect and look at what went well and what do we need to do differently to ensure that we meet those goals the next quarter.
No, that's really good. So it's important to reflect.
Yep.
And it's extremely important to reset. And reset does not mean that you have to restart.
Exactly.
And I think that's one thing that we really want to emphasize with you all on this evening is just because you have to reset does not mean that you have to restart. Restarting oftentimes means that you're starting from nothing and you have to build again. Take what's good from what you've already created and what you've already developed and add on to it. Add the necessary changes, add the necessary tweaks, pivot. Don't be afraid to be agile. Be mindful of those different things as you continue to grow. Now, Thaddeus, if you didn't have anything to add, I wanted to open the floor to our live viewers. It is now Q&A time. We'll feature your comments on the screen and we'll be able to provide answers to you for questions that you all may have. So right now is the time. Go ahead. Don't be shy. Go and leave those comments in the comment section right now, and we'll make sure that we give you answers to questions. Tonight, we're talking about reflecting and resetting. So what are your questions tonight about reflecting and resetting? Are you afraid to reflect and reset? Or have you recently reflected and reset?
No, reflecting and resetting. I mean, and while you guys are gathering your questions and thoughts, it is so important. I was talking with somebody earlier today, and they told me that the situations that we're dealing with or that you're approaching right now, you need to learn from those, learn what not to do. And in my mind, I was thinking, why would I want to learn what not to do? It's a part of reflecting. Everything you go through, everything that you deal with is going to allow you to take a piece of that. We talked about in the beginning of this presentation of really understanding the importance of resetting and reflecting and how the dots really connect and how important that is for sure.
So it doesn't look like we have any questions, but one thing that Ashley Johnson shared with us, she said restarting allows opportunity for growth. That is so true, Ashley Johnson. So true. Restarting does allow opportunity for growth, and resetting also allows the opportunity for growth as well. You have to determine which one it is that you hope to and plan to do.
I agree with that 100%, Ashley. When you restart, it allows you to really, and it sounds cliche, but it does allow you to reflect. It allows you to take a couple steps back and look at all of those opportunities, all the things that went well, and really drive it home. That's huge, because if you don't just take a few moments to always look at what went well, what opportunities that you had, again, like Vince said, you're going to fail, because we only learn from experience. Experience is his greatest teacher.
Absolutely. No, that's really good. That is. So we've reached the point of our broadcast. It is now time for our announcements. So we thank you all so much for tuning in with us on this evening as we talk through some really exciting things with you all. So for the announcement segment on Saturday, August 29th, we are so excited to share with you all that we will be hosting our inaugural webinar, Climbing the Corporate Ladder. We solidify all of our dynamic speakers that's going to be speakers on this webinar. We have an early bird special for early bird registrants that's $60. And that's just a small investment into your future, $60. After July 14th, that fee will go up to $75 beginning July 15th. So make sure that you visit our website, www.agile-consultinggroup.com to register and get your tickets today.
I want to stay there for a sec, Vince. So when we talk about climbing the corporate ladder, how many of you have been in situations where you want to know how to get to that next level in your career? You really want to understand how to get to that next area. And this is where we're really going. I mean, we have some amazing professionals that are going to come in and talk directly to you about resume building, salary negotiation, personal branding, things that are very important that's going to help you really reach that next level. We want to invest into you so that you can be agile, succeed agile, continue to grow within your career, continue to grow within that area that you're looking to move in. And maybe you're saying, hey, I'm a small business owner. I don't need to know specifically how to move to that next level, even in corporate America. We still have tools within this Power Pack workshop that's going to help you get to that next level, even as a small business owner. It's important to understand how to negotiate contracts the same way you would even negotiate, talk about from a salary standpoint. And then that personal branding piece is also very, very important, because when individuals see you, you represent your brand, you represent that business, you represent what you do every day at work. So I highly encourage you to take advantage of this. These professionals that are coming to speak are second to none. I'm excited to glean from them also, and I know that they would definitely encourage you and give you some nuggets to glean from.
Absolutely. No, that's really good, Thaddeus. Also, join us right here in Agile Consulting Group every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time for the Upskill Forum. We'll be here every Tuesday. So make sure that you join. Make sure that you like our Facebook page if you haven't done so already. We'll have a variety of topics for you all that we can't wait to dive into, and it requires your participation. So make sure that you join us right here every Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Vince and I are definitely very excited to share with you that we will be giving some professional consulting in special areas. I specialize in leadership consulting, team consulting, personal development, and career consulting for a small consulting fee of only $99. This is something that will invest into your future, something that will continue to help grow to that next level. I have a great background in customer service, leadership, and I just believe what I can help you with is going to help you get to that next level. And then here at Agile, Vince also has a great skill set in looking at for-profit business setups. He's built Vince Lamar from the ground up. He's helped even with small businesses in other areas within his career. So there's some definitely some value that can be added there if you are an individual that is looking to start a business, or maybe you have a business already, but you're looking to figure out how to get to that next level. Leadership consulting, team consulting, professional development, and then also career consulting for the small sum of only $99. You may think $99 is a lot, but this is an investment directly into your future. This is an investment in your day-to-day and how you're going to continue to grow and how you need to be agile.
Awesome. And don't forget to join our professional group. Our group is the Agile group. You can find that here on Facebook, and you can search for us in your search tab and search the Agile group. We are connecting with professionals, we're connecting with leaders, and we're just having a grand old time. We're connecting, sharing information and resources with one another. So make sure that you join the Agile group. So we're so excited that you all have taken time out of your day to join us. If you haven't done so already, like us on Facebook and LinkedIn. Follow us on Instagram at Agile Consulting Group. And thank you all so much for tuning in to our inaugural episode of the Upskill Forum. And what's our motto, that is? Live agile, work agile, succeed agile. Thank you all so much for tuning in.